Hey, what's up, guys? It's Pete with MixBetterNow.com, and welcome to another Mix Critique Monday. It is October the 10th, 2016. Apologize that I didn't get one up last week. I was super busy all week mixing an EP for a client, but I'm glad that I get to do one this week. We've got some tracks already for next week, so definitely hunker down. And if you guys have anything, of course, that you want to submit, absolutely just shoot me an email, your name, the track's name, and just make sure it's downloadable MP3 or a WAV file. Super easy. So I hope you guys had a really good week, and stoked to be back. We have some mixes this week from Adam Howe, from Daniel Updegraff. Updegraff? Sorry, Daniel. I'm trying. Peyton Helm, Billy Hudson, Mike Derrick, and Mauro Cappabianca. Hope I got that right, Mauro. You challenged me. Cappabianca. I think I got that. I don't know. Anyway, let me know. The first track is called Bird Again. I hope it's Bird Again and not a typo and Born Again. Anyway, we're going to get into it. I'm going to hit play, and let's check it out. This is Bird Again by Adam Howe. Like that pad on the intro, very cool. Acoustics sound nice. Ooh, love the strings, love the piano.
Can see the forest for the trees, and I hear this road at the road again. Take the road again, and life's hard as we speak, but time can dictate the wheel again, and steal this world again, and I can bend, I can break, but only in
For a delicate kind of stripped down track like this for the intro, just a personal kind of production taste for me, I would probably pull some of the instrumentation down and pull her vocals up a little bit, and then that way as the song builds and you kind of get into a verse or a hook, well, I know you're in a verse, but I mean, like, later on you can slowly automate those things in to kind of fill it up a little bit. Just something I thought of while I was listening.
and I am still the same. My broken, but I am not lost. Sing a song again. Let's be a better again. Try and break away, but it drags me down. Feeling lost again, but I shall be found. Find a way, burn this world right down. It must be found. Shall be away, far away from all the wrong, going too far too.
I think it sounds great so far. The only criticism I might have to this point or suggestion would be the vocalist's vocal seems a little thin to me. Female vocals can be a tricky thing because depending on the microphone you use, the mic placement, and of course depending on whatever the female vocalist's just her natural singing voice sounds like, it can be hard to sometimes get some of that weight, some of that low end, not in a bad way but in a good way, to get a little bit of I guess kind of what I'm thinking of is if you have a female vocalist who you know has a thinner voice, and you know maybe you only have one microphone, so you put that up and you use it, and that's fine. If sometimes you kind of listen back and it sounds a little bit thin for the type of music, if this was a dense rock arrangement, I'd probably have no issues with the thickness or lack of thickness on her voice. But for me, like if I was recording her vocal and I knew it sounded like this, I might be tempted to grab something like I don't know what mic you used, but something like trying a dynamic, because like a large diaphragm condenser on female vocals can sometimes get a little bit thin. an active ribbon mic is also a great thing to use on female vocals. So just for your own knowledge and for everybody else watching, that's just something to be conscious of with female vocals. I don't know if you guys saw the video, the tutorial I did in the middle of the week, where I was mixing a track with similar female vocals, and it was like stacks and stacks of vocals. But what happens is when you sing doubles and you're singing the same parts, they can actually sound thin because they blend together, and it can cause issues. So again, just another thought that I had. But so far, I really like the way the music sounds. I love the acoustics, the piano, the cello, or the strings, whatever you got going on. It sounds really good.
Dream of song, run away, run away. There's no more pain. Just remember my name. I have a name. Try and break away, but it drags me down. Feeling lost again, but I shall be found. Find a way, burn this world right down. It must be found. I shall be found. And I have a name. Fall away, fall away. Fall away, fall away.
Like this breakdown a lot. Sounds really good.
Fall away, fall away. This time can.
I can hear in my headphones, might be a more subtle effect on speakers, but I could tell that you're panning that that piano lick. Kind of heard it on my right, then on my left. That's kind of a cool, very cool effect.
Change things. Fall away, fall away. Fall away, fall away. Fall away, fall away.
Be careful with sound effects like that. I know I love what you're going for there for that very dramatic impact, kind of a crescendo there. Sometimes with stuff like that, it can get a little crunchy sounding, just sound a little crunchy to me. So just make sure you don't put it too loud also in the track. A lot of these things are blend issues for me because the guitar sounds good, the piano sounds good, EQ and compression wise, I'm not hearing anything that's over compressed. I'm not really hearing anything that's extremely, like an EQ catastrophe or anything like that, with the exception of I would try and beef up her vocal a little bit more. But yeah, just so far so good.
This time can change things. Fall away, fall away. Fall away, fall away. Fall away, fall away. This time can change things. And I have a name. The time can change things.
Really dig that. Really good job, Adam. I'm a big fan of acoustic music. I'm a big fan of singer-songwriters, and I really like that a lot. I thought the acoustics really tasteful. Those are some of doing these mix critiques. Those are probably some of the best acoustics that I've heard recorded. Love the ethereal sounding piano, and I heard a little bit of electric guitar in there. I think that gives it a really nice kind of haunting quality to it. And I don't have any real big issues with the mix. Only thing, like I said, maybe go back, take your vocal. Maybe you're high passing a little bit too much, getting rid of too much of the low end. I find on acoustic stripped down productions and tracks, you can get away with leaving in a lot more low end overall. On a track like this, if it was a dense rock mix or something like that, I might high pass her vocal to 200 hertz, something like that off the top of my head. But If it's acoustic, I would maybe leave it, just get off the really, really sub lows that no one's going to hear and is just taking up headroom, and leave some of those lows in, where your filters kind of come in, maybe throw a little bump here. Okay. That's something that I like to do in situations like that. But yeah, really good job. I don't have much to really kind of pick apart on that. So thanks for submitting, Adam. That was Adam Howe with Bird again. Okay, next up we have Failure by Daniel Updegraff or Updegraff. I apologize again, Daniel. So let's check this out.
You're no good. You're just a failure.
Cool synth.
In the morning, darkness fades out. Goals are not obscure.
Hearing a little bit of sibilance on the vocal. Don't know what you've done in terms of any de-essing or one technique that I like to do, especially when I'm working in Pro Tools, is I like to go in with clip gain, and I will actually find the sibilance and pull it down if I want it to sound extremely natural. Some other de-essers that I really like to use. Not all de-essers are created equal, so be aware of that. I'm a big advocate for using stock plugins, but the best two de-essers that I've ever used is the FabFilter Pro DS and the Eosis de-esser. I forget the model name, but those are really good. Of course, if you don't have it, use what you got. But though a little de-essing, the other thing you can do is sometimes I find a little bit of tape saturation can compress some of those S's. Also, if you have a dynamic EQ, you can really zone in on these sibilant areas and kind of squish them down. So just what I was hearing there.
But nothing strive for ever happens. Struggles lead to failure. Mistakes are raging, an epidemic. Ambitious victory seems far gone. Pressure building, despair is growing. Another train wreck. How can I go on? Feelings on my mind don't need an uphill climb. I seek perfection, not rejection.
That arpeggiated synth that you have going there, I think it's a little overbearing at this point. It's just kind of distracting me from the drums and the guitars. So maybe pull that back here. You could even probably pull that a little bit back on the intro. I would maybe kind of do a cut around, 400, 300 hertz. See if that cleans that up a little bit. It's a nice sounding arpeggiated synth sound, but it's just it's a little too loud for me right now.
Friends tell me don't whine, just try another time. It won't be failure, it's never failure to try. Found a teacher, name is Graham. He knows lots of stuff. Despite that knowledge, things are mayhem. How can it be this tough? Mistakes keep coming, no time for tears. I must try something new. Confidence wavering, anger sets in. I'm so confused. Feelings on my mind don't need an uphill climb. I seek perfection, not rejection. Friends tell me don't whine, just try another time. It won't be failure, it's never failure to try. Give up, give up, give up. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good.
Some cool guitar sounds right there.
Never make it. Failure, 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 failure. You're gonna fail, just you wait. Giving up, giving up. Feelings on my mind, don't need an uphill.
Really dig how when you kind of had a breakdown there, and then when you got to the chorus, that's probably, I'm guessing, the last chorus before the outro, kind of hit that crescendo. I heard sounds like you boosted the overall volume a little bit. I really like how it kind of really is a dramatic impact there. Nice job.
Climb, I seek perfection, not rejection. Friends tell me don't whine, just try another time. It won't be failure, it's never failure. Oh, everything I try makes me wanna cry. It drives me crazy, I don't like failing, so I made a...
Overall, I would go on your mix bus here. Probably look for some low mids to cut. Just sounds like you're getting a little bit of build up there, which is very natural. I find that happens on, on every mix, because it's such a almost every instrument has something around 500 hertz, 400 hertz. So you are gonna get a lot of build up there. That's like that boxy frequency that I always talk about, that cardboard sound. I will typically go in and remove, 1 to 2, 2.5 dB of that, depending on if it's, a specific, like something that I might notch out, or something that I might use like a really wide Q for, just to kind of sculpt out. But let's keep going.
Made up my mind to try another time. No more failure, it's never failure to try.
All right. Good job, Daniel. Yeah, that was cool, man. Like I said, maybe be a little conscious of the volume of your arpeggiated synth. You could probably pull a little bit of low mids out of that, as well as overall on the entire track. Maybe go ahead and try and be conscious of your static mix balance of your ratio of drums to guitars to synth to vocals. I just could have used a little bit more drums there. I could have used a little bit more guitar. Maybe pull the synths back a little bit, and some of those EQ moves might really definitely pay dividends there. So thanks for submitting, and nice job, man. Keep it up. All right, next up we have Hello featuring Kelly J from Peyton Helm. So let's check it out.
Hello, it's me. I was wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet to go over everything. They say that time's supposed to heal you, but I ain't done much healing. Hello, can you hear me? I'm in California dreaming about who we used to be.
Really dig it so far. I like the it's intimate sounding, but at the same time, I think you've done a tasteful little bit of reverb and delay on the vocals. The piano sounds good. The keys sound good. I'm guessing that is a VI, but it sounds natural. I can't tell. I'm not sure if this is a cover, if you said or not. I apologize either way, but so far definitely cool. The vocal sounded a little bit nasally to me. I'm gonna keep listening though before I kind of go ahead and make another comment. Let me keep checking it out.
When we were younger and free, I've forgotten how it felt before the world.
Yeah, I'm hearing just like a little bit. Of course, on females, everything kind of gets moved up in relation to male vocals, but that kind of like a little bit of that nasal thing might happen around 500, 600, 700 hertz on a guy, depending on his voice. On a girl, you might want to look for that a little bit higher. boost, sweep around, pull something out, just notch a little bit. It's nothing very intrusive sounding, but it does sound good though. Really like the vocal tone.
World fell at our feet. There's such a difference between us and a million miles. Hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times.
Yeah, this is that Adele cover. Apologies. I don't listen to that much Adele, but yeah, it's really digging the vocal tone. I guess that's Kelly singing. She's killer voice. Kind of like how you got the piano in the right spot for me. So much of here's the thing, right? So much of mixing, and I really want to stress this, is levels, balancing levels, panning decisions, EQ, compressing, saturating, sweetening, putting effects on stuff. That's like half of that's a part of mixing. I like to kind of use the analogy that mixing is like cooking. So, seasoning what you're gonna cook is a part of cooking. That's not everything. A lot of it comes from the broader moves, the bigger moves that we make, which is okay, let's spend some more time on our static mix. Let's move faders around before we just grab a plugin or grab a fader and throw it up. Being conscious of those things will help in the long run, but also staying conscious of them while you're mixing. After you EQ and compress something, and then, okay, how's everything feeling and how's everything sitting now? Because a lot of the times if say bass isn't poking through a mix, someone will reach for, some saturation or some more compression when really all it might need is just have the fader go up a little bit, So, anyway, let's keep going here.
To tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done, but when I call you, never seem to be home. Hello from the outside.
I would ride the reverb here personally. I like the reverb that you're using, especially on the tails of words. Hello from the outside, from the side, I would maybe kind of do a delay throw there, but with reverb, and kind of push up your fader a little bit for your reverb tail to kind of extend and then to have its decay time when she's singing a little bit quicker. I don't know if it needs to be quite that wet. I not only mention it, I'm not saying it's ruining the mix, but I've just heard effects ruin a lot of mixes where something's overtly wet or overtly dry, and it can be easy. I've done it many times where you get kind of carried away, and but yeah, really digging her voice and the piano.
At least I can say that I've tried to tell you I'm sorry for breaking your heart, but it don't matter. It clearly doesn't tear you apart anymore.
You could bring that kick up a little bit there. I kind of wanted a little more kick.
How are you? It's so typical of me to talk about myself. I'm sorry. I hope that you're well. Did you ever make it out of that town where nothing ever happened? It's no secret that the both of us are running out of time. So hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done, but when I call you,
You could bring those hand drums up a little bit.
seem to be home. Hello from the outside. At least I doesn't tear you apart anymore. Ooh, anymore.
I think you could brighten that piano up a little bit to make it sound a little more natural. You can get rid of some mid-range, definitely get rid of some of those sub-lows. I'm not saying you aren't, I'm just saying make sure that you're always at least having a high-pass filter on. Let's getting rid of something like, you could even have it just set at 20 hertz with a gentle slope, and that will help. Maybe try like a high shelf, or some kind of an air band if you have an EQ with an air band where you could put some air into it. Maybe something like doing a 20 hertz or like a 40 hertz boost if you have, like the Moog EQ4 or something like that, or the Millennia EQ from Plug-in Alliance. Even a Neve. Take a Neve, whatever, doesn't matter which Neve, Waves, UAD. You can use the 12K shelf. That's a really nice airy sounding shelf. Don't get crazy with it, but you could also maybe give it a little 2K or a little bit of 3K. That'll kind of make it poke through a little bit. Just, try it. I mean, see how it would sound, because to me it can just use like a little more brightness, but in the right places, and those are kind of where I'm thinking it might benefit. Sounds good here. You're playing up higher now, so I can hear that.
Hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done. But when I call you, never see.
Just watch a couple of the BGVs there. Kind of something sounded a little pitchy to me. Most DAWs nowadays, I think, have stock tuning plugins. You don't have to have Melodyne or Auto Tune or anything like that. And I'm not even like a huge fan of tuning, the heck out of vocals. But if you hear a note that's clearly flat or sharp, definitely take care of it. Especially in a part like that where it needs to be tight and big, and because that's kind of the apex of the song right there.
Seem to be home. Hello from the outside. At least I can say that I've tried to tell you I'm sorry for breaking your heart, but it don't matter. It clearly doesn't tear you apart anymore.
Yeah, right on. Good job, Peyton. Thanks for submitting and sharing that. Overall, really enjoyed it. Thought it was a really tasteful, well done cover. Kelly has a killer voice. So yeah. Again, there's these are all pretty good so far. Nothing I'm hearing that's glaringly bad. Little tweaks. But again, that's what mixing is, right? I always say it's a series of little moves that add up to one big final thing. So yeah, just maybe try tweaking some of those things that I mentioned there, and keep up the good work. These are all, again, you guys impress me every week. Very rarely, maybe one or two mixes that were, could use a bit of work, but you guys are doing a great job so far. So let's keep it moving. Billy Hudson with She. Here we go. love the drums, love the bass, love the guitar so far. Vocals sound a little buried and a little bit muddy to me, so make sure you're using your high pass filter and make sure you're kind of addressing the muddy area, 150, 200, 250, 300. And also that box area that I talk about all the time, 400, 500, 600 hertz, depending on the vocalist. I could just kind of tell that, a nice cut around 200 might do a little bit of justice there. By doing a subtractive EQ move, you would then not have to look at doing so much additive stuff, because when you're removing, you're essentially boosting. If you cut in the middle, if you scoop, here's your frequency range, and you do a big cut, let's look at the screen, right? Like, so say we cut something around 500 here, and you scoop that out. Well, what happens? It essentially raises the lows and the highs if you're cutting the mids. So, just a thought while I'm listening. I like this a lot. It's cool. Conscious of those vocal stacks there. Maybe go to the vocal bus and get rid of some of those low mids. I think you can definitely remove a little bit of that there, but make them sound bigger too. Really like the strings in the chorus. It kind of adds a really nice build up there for me. Really like the bass playing too. I think the whoever's playing bass is doing a great job, and I love the tone that you guys got going on. So it sounds really good. I love this track. This is great. It would have been cool to finish on the tonic, but yeah, that was great. Really good job there. Really good mix. Pretty hard to pick it apart. like the acoustic solo. That was a cool touch. Acoustic guitars can be pretty tricky to mix because a lot of the times acoustic guitars can sound thin, they can sound harsh, they can sound the opposite, right? They can sound very muddy and boomy. But I thought they had a nice tone to them. They weren't over compressed, which is nice. Compressing acoustic guitars is a challenging thing, picking the right compressor and kind of adding enough gentle compression to it. But yeah, I dug it a lot. Again, I would just maybe try tweaking some of the low mids out of those vocals. And then in the chorus, like I said, maybe try and, I don't know, if you send all your vocals to an all vocals bus, you could, do maybe another cut there. But all in all, really enjoyed it. Really good job, Billy. So thanks for sharing that. Appreciate it, man. All right, moving on. The River from Mike Derrick. Let's check it out. If you look on the graph here, you'll see we're getting a lot of buildup. And I'm not a big visual mixer. I mean, I know we all look at things like spectrograms, right? But just take a look at I was just listening and I heard a little buildup in the low end, and I see a little peak going on between 70 and 90 hertz.
The river runs wild.
See right about here. Just be conscious of that. That's something you could take care of on the mix bus. I would just kind of make sure you're high passing. I love to high pass on my mix bus. At least doing something around 20 hertz, if not 30 hertz. You could even pull it in tighter if you're not losing any of that low end. I'm not insinuating to kind of get rid of the low end, but as I've said before, it will just get rid of the sub lows you can't hear. It will ultimately give your mix more headroom because low end frequencies they have a lot of volume to them. I mean, that's one reason that you see them really, really stimulate compressors. Compressors are very affected by low end. You know what? Just for fun, let me pull in one of the best EQ graphs is actually on the FabFilter Pro Q2. I'm not going to do any EQing. Let's go and just delete all of these. And we'll just look at the graph here. This will give me a little bit more of a high def view on it.
And you can't seem to get to the other side. The ocean rages mighty and you can't.
Yes, I don't know if you caught that. When I hover my mouse, it'll actually freeze the meter inside, and yeah, it looked about 100 hertz, 90 hertz, which would make sense. So yeah, just do a little cut there on your mix bus, should be straight.
Hold back the tide. Nothing to hold, nothing stays the same. Broken bottle on the floor, the same old cigarette stain. Stripped you of dignity, stripped you of pride. There's nothing left but what's dying inside. Changes. Gotta try to get to the other side of the river.
One thing I would do right there is I would just be careful of I would pan that guitar out because it sounded like it was up the middle to me, so it's kind of competing with the vocal. It makes both kind of hard to hear in that situation, so it kind of takes away from the guitar and the vocal because they're both competing for that same spot. So if you take the guitar, go hard left, hard right, I think that would help that part out. The thing I'm hearing on the vocal there too is that some of the reverb and delay that you might be using on there, I don't know if you EQ on your actual reverb that you have set up. Some reverb plugins, delay plugins will have EQs on them. I always like to take advantage of them because natural buildup does occur where I like to make sure that I'm filtering the bottom and the top, not all the time, but for example, if you have a crispy sounding reverb and you don't filter the top with a low pass filter, you can get some sibilance on it. And the same thing on the bottom is that you can get a lot of muddy buildup from reverbs. So I like to make sure I get rid of some of those lows. And to me, it just sounds like I can hear maybe a little bit of buildup there. If you are EQing it, you could maybe do a little bit more on the effects. I'm just assuming that you have your reverb and delays on sends and returns. So, you can put an EQ after your reverb or your delay or before it, because then it'll actually, before it will, thin out your vocal. If you do it after, it will kind of take care of both. So it's really a taste thing, but just an idea I had. All right. Thanks for the submission, Mike. So just all in all, with a lot of the drums, the synths, the guitars, just kind of heard a lot of fighting for stuff around 1K, 900, 500, I would say somewhere kind of right around in between here, even kind of a little bit lower down in the low mids. So, when you have instrumentation like guitars and synthesizers, specifically those two things, pads, synths, same thing, that's kind of what I'm talking about. You can get a lot of buildup because, like I said, they're fighting for the same space. I was actually having a conversation with my buddy Lee the other day, and he works on a lot of music with guitars and synthesizers in them, and we were talking about the new isotope plugin, the Neutron, where you kind of, I'm going to be doing a review of it soon, by the way, but you kind of press a button and it will automatically tell you what to cut and where. I'll get into what I think about that when I do the review, but it's a tough thing to kind of have a track where it's synth heavy and guitar heavy. So just maybe kind of where you cut one area in one instrument, you can boost in another, kind of notch something out. Say if you cut 1K on one instrument, you can leave 1K on another or boost it a little bit, and so on and so forth. It's almost kind of like putting a puzzle together. So That was my main my main thing with that mix was I think there could be a little bit more, better EQing with the guitars and the synths and the drums and things like that. But again, hey man, great job. Appreciate you submitting, and you guys are all killing it. Mixing is a hard thing that takes a long time to really get good at. So the more you do it, the better you're gonna get. And I'm really proud of all you guys. You guys are doing good work. So. Last up, we have it's a track called "Time for Me" by my man Mauro Cappabianca. Mauro Cappabianca. So thanks for the submission ahead of time, Mauro. This is called "Time for Me," and we're gonna check it out. This is the last track. I've got a bunch of tracks set aside for next week too, so we will get to the ones I couldn't get to today. So let's listen to "Time for Me."
Princess, I'm gonna fall down. I know you're there and I'm hopeless, waiting for so long, and I'm crushing and burning. No reply, yes, I'm crushing and burning, but now it's time. Oh, time to run till my feet start bleeding. Time to have fun even though you're leaving.
Okay, so one thing I'm noticing here is that we're going to need a little bit of EQing going on, kind of in the same way that I was talking about the last track, but here I think it's even more prevalent, is there's a lot of stuff going on in the low mids, there's a lot of stuff going on in the mid-range, so you're going to want to make sure the first place I would do it, I would start on the mix bus, try and carve out something, let me just kind of cruise back here like a bar.
But now it's time, time to run till my feet start bleeding. Time to have fun even though you're leaving.
So right here,
fun even though your feet start bleeding. Time to run till my feet start bleeding.
Look at the graph.
Fun even though
the graph there is almost flat. So what does that tell me? It tells me that, we're going to kind of want to do some surgery there, some surgical moves, some subtractive EQ. Want to make sure you're using your high pass filter on your mix bus. You're going to want to make sure that you're really kind of zoning in on the 250 to get rid of a little bit of mud there. It's just sounding a little muddy to me, a little bass heavy. So start on the mix bus. If on the mix bus you cannot, you can't get it to sit where you want, work backwards. So go to the mix bus. Then if you use all buses, maybe do it on the all music bus where you're sending the bass, the guitars to, even maybe some of the vocals, and kind of work backwards. Last place you might want to go is the individual track itself. So that might be helpful. But I really like the vibe so far. Very cool track. I kind of dig the verb delay thing you got going on your vocal. It really works here, for a punk tune like this. So let's keep listening.
you're leaving. Time for me, whoa, time for me. I'm a mess, you're a princess. I'm gonna fall down, I know. Since you left, I am weeping. I know that something's wrong, and I'm kicking and screaming. Not to die, yes, I'm kicking and screaming. But now it's time, whoa. Time to run till my feet start bleeding. Time to...
I think part of what I'm hearing there is that the kick drum is, there's something going on with the kick there where it's, as soon as that, I guess the chorus hits, I'm hearing a lot of, instead of kick attack, I'm hearing a lot of like a kick out mic. So I'm hearing a lot of thwomp thwomp instead of click click or attack. You know, does that make sense? So I don't know if you have one mic on the kick there, if you have two microphones, three microphones, what the deal is. I don't know if you're using a sample. The drums do sound good, and to me, they sound like a live kit. But you might want to just be a little bit aware of that, and you might want to maybe, if you have a kick in and a kick out mic, I would say maybe pull back on the kick out, which is going to give you that low end, that thump, a lot of that woofy sound, and maybe increase some of the kick in mic, which is going to give you, it's going to focus more on the click attack of the beater head, smacking the actual drum. So let's keep going.
We're fine even though you're leaving. Time for me, whoa, time for me. begun. Time to run till my feet start bleeding. Time to have fun.
I like that halftime breakdown. That was cool.
Time for me. Time for me. Time to run till my feet start bleeding.
You know, I actually might be hearing a little bit of digital clipping going on here. Let me just go back for a second. Yeah, right here. I'm going to loop this. Hopefully you can hear it. Yeah, so when the drum kit comes in, listen, it almost sounds like, I don't know if you overdrove the mic capsules on the drum kit or what. I'm going to turn it up a little bit. It sounds to me like you could possibly be clipping your drum bus, which is in turn clipping your mix bus. Let's listen again. Yeah, right there. So it's kind of about here. So, you know, just address that. I would go back and just kind of figure out where it is, maybe overdriving or clipping or something like that. Of course, if it was on the microphone end, or, you know, you were clipping your pre or something like that, that might not be something that's fixable in the mix. I'm just saying, if it is fixable, I would definitely go back and tweak it.
Time to a fight, even though you're leaving. Time for me. Oh, time for me. Time to run till my feet start bleeding. Time to have fun, even though you're leaving. Time for me. Oh, time for me.
Yeah, killing it, Mauro. Very cool. I thought we had a really nice range of different kinds of tracks today. You know, different kinds of genres of music, from mellow singer-songwriter acoustic stuff to a punk track like this, to a more electronic song with some synthesizers in it. But Mauro, that was a good job. Just be aware. Make sure you're not clipping out any of your buses, your master fader. Be conscious of your low end. You know, maybe clean up some of the mud in that track. You know, it's not super muddy where it's a huge problem, but you know, if you want to definitely improve that, I would take a look at that. Like I said, start on the mix bus, work backwards, and I think you can. The beautiful part about doing that too is that in turn it's going to make your track sound bigger. In a punk track like this, I think that's even more incentive to kind of clean stuff up. So, you know, but all in all, guys, really good job this week. You know, every week I'm constantly amazed, constantly impressed. You know, tip of the hat to everyone. As I've said, it's can be a scary thing to kind of throw your mix out there in front of other people and kind of have it openly critiqued. But as I always say too, you know, these aren't anything negative. This is all positive criticism. This is constructive criticism. I do the same thing. I have some buddies that I send mixes to and say, hey, what do you guys hear? You hear anything that I can improve? Because at the end of the day, I want you guys to all get your mixes to a level where you're happy with, and, you know, you're making the music that you hear in your head and you're improving and getting better. So this is just a great way to do that. You know, the more sets of ears you can get on something that you trust and that you value, you know, it's a good thing. So proud of all you guys this week. Think you all did extremely, extremely well. Big thanks to Adam Howe, Dan Updegraff, Peyton Helm, Billy Hudson, Mike Derrick, and Mauro Cappabianca. Again, thank you. Anyone out there who wants a free mix critique, shoot me an email, pete@mixbetternow.com. Include your name, the name of the track, and just have it be downloadable in an MP3 or WAV format. And I will get you on one of these Mix Critique Mondays coming up sooner or later, but we got a bunch going on next week too. But keep them flowing. Make sure you guys are signed up on the email list. We have a drawing. I'm shooting this on a Sunday night, so this is, by the time you see this, it will be Monday. This is Sunday evening, but make sure you get on the email list to enter. I'm going to be giving away an Aston microphone tomorrow, an Aston Origin microphone. Make sure you're on the email list. That is how you enter. I'll be picking one lucky winner at random around 7 p.m., 8 p.m. my time, which is Eastern Standard Time in the U.S., so make sure you're on it. But we're going to be doing giveaways all the time, so if you don't get it this time, we'll catch you next time. As always, my name is Pete with MixBetterNow.com. This has been a Mix Critique Monday for October the 10th, 2016. I really, really appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you guys submitting, all right? I hope you have an awesome day, and as always, I will catch you next time.